Hey guys, still here. Welcome back to Transport Fever. We're still on the Whiplash map, and the trains are running smoothly. Unfortunately, there's not that much to do for the trains. As you can see, the game is starting to lag a little bit under the load of having this many towns and this big a map to render, as well as all these vehicles that are moving about. Now, there are some new passengers for the train here and there, but there's really not that much going on at the train stations. The airports are much more interesting, as we're still getting a decent amount of people waiting here. And since it's 1952, we have a new aircraft. We're currently using a couple of Douglas DC-3s and DC-4s, and we now have the potential to upgrade to the Lockheed Super Constellation, carrying 23 passengers, going far faster at 489 versus 365, but they are twice as expensive. I'm not sure if this is worth it. To be fair, their lifespan is better, but overall I simply don't have 23 passengers waiting. This airport... No, Joburg is usually the busiest one, but even there I don't have 23 people waiting. How about the northern airport? This one does. A whole bunch of people waiting to go to Wishbone. This is probably a Wishbone flight. Yeah, there's only 4 people on. Have you made a profit? Yeah, it's made a profit every single year so far. Alright, I'm going to add one aircraft of the Lockheed Super Constellation type onto the Harpoon Wishbone line, because that's what people seem to be queuing up for. By the numbers as well, 40 people there. Overall, what we have rolling around in Wishbone is, I think, 3 trams per line. I haven't been to Wishbone in a while. Wishbone has been growing, by the way. Seeing some multi-story buildings at this point. Yeah, they're getting a tram every 4 minutes. Which, all things considered, is not too bad. And at the moment, the only other way that people can get away from this town is by taking a bus to Sawtooth, and from Sawtooth onwards to the other, well, smaller towns, or, well, what used to be a smaller town, such as Meteor Bay. Let's see, a couple of trams need replacing. That's Joburg, counterclockwise and clockwise. 31 years. Alright, let's upgrade you to the Type T1. And the other one, same deal, Type T1. Money still is not really an issue. I have 22 million, and despite the fact that I'm spending money on aircrafts, I'm still not losing that much, since I have a profit margin of about 5 million a year. Now, let's have a look at all these tram lines, because I think that some of them don't have too many people on, or don't have too many vehicles on, such as Spitalflats, where the tram counterclockwise line, which only has 1 vehicle at the moment, has quite a few people waiting. So let's add in a few more trams. I'm going to set another one up on the counterclockwise line, and 1 more on the clockwise. As for the other routes, what do I have? 1 tram on the duck pond. That's it? That's it. Okay. That needs to change. Add another Type T1 to the duck pond tram, and we're going to set up a reverse line for that. The current one is clockwise, so we're going to set up one counterclockwise, starting at Queensway, heading to Grove, Windsor, South and Main. So this is duck pond tram counterclockwise. And hopefully people don't have to ride the entire line if they want to get from here to there, for example. They can just opt to go for the counterclockwise line. Saving is starting to really take up a lot of time. How are these buses doing? 60 people waiting to go to Queen's Road? Where is that exactly? Is that the next stop here? Are you Queen's Road? Yeah, you're Queen's Road. Okay, it looks like we might have to add a few more buses to this particular bus route, because it looks like there is a little bit more supply of passengers. Look at that. then there is demand. Sorry, then there is supply for vehicles. How many of these buses am I running? Because I believe I am running a fuck ton of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 42 plus 3 is 45 buses. And still it's not enough. Are we all running these? Yeah, we're all running this sour. That's the fastest and, at the moment, best bus that I have available. It's not particularly quick at 50. Only carries 13 passengers. And I wish I had something that went a little bit faster. And look, trains can do that. Trains can go faster, but holy crap, is that the meteor or something? No. Trains can go faster, but they are very tough to construct along this line. Because it's all over the place. Actually, if I might... Actually, let's try this. I have a bunch of cash to burn, so... Yeah, see, we're already looking at 200k. I'm thinking of just trying to get the train line to line up with the road. So that the construction costs aren't going to be that dramatic. Unfortunately, the train... Holy shit, how high do you want to go? Yeah. The moment it started going up here, I got screwed. Now I can do some terrainscaping, but that is generally quite an expensive hobby in this game. The alternative is to take Duck Pond and have... Oh, better bus. Perfect timing at that. What do we have? Mercedes-Benz S06E06. Speed 65, passengers 15. I'll take that. And we're gonna upgrade this entire line with a whole bunch of new vehicles. That's gonna get expensive. Oh, I'm replacing them every 25 or every quarter of their lifespan. What happens if I replace now? 4.7 million. Deal. Now, I could try and get a train bridge built from Duck Pond just straight towards Meteor Bay. 16 million. Yeah. While that is possible, it's going to cost me, like, a lot. If I want to go through the train, 15, 13... this is actually a little bit better. I'm paying 15 million for that line. I don't see myself getting a return on investment on that anytime soon. Not with these trains doing about $250,000 to $500,000 a year. That would take me 30 years just to make this single section of track back. And keep in mind, that's a one-way. I need a two-way for that. So, no, I think Meteor Bay, for the moment, is going to be stuck with just having buses. Oh, Sheba, you're looking at old what? Oh, wow. We have one of these old, are they steam-powered? Potentially steam-powered vehicles. 50 years old. Old-timers at that. Replace now. What are my vehicles like? Come to think of it. What's the oldest vehicle that I'm running? Yeah, 50 years. No surprise there. And my ferries? They're still marginally making me a profit. Yeah, look at that. 5 for 32. Get out of here. I'm going to adjust that. That's going to be the goal of this episode. We're going to be building a bridge. We're not going to build a wall, we're going to build a bridge. The bridge is going to happen between Spittleflat and Joburg Crater, allowing people to get from Joburg to both Harpoon and Spittleflat a whole lot faster. For that, I'm going to have to throw some lines around. Let's say I use this one as a terminal for people to queue to get towards the other side. Let's say here. Is that the depot? Well, not the depot, but yeah, station. That's where I want them to go. Building a vehicle bridge is probably going to be far more affordable. There, that's 5 million. And that's pretty much the best bridge that you can build. It even has a bus lane, which should allow my vehicles to get over there faster, even if the thing starts to get congested. So yeah, let's pay 5 million for a bridge. I'm not sure if it's still... No. I just cut off the navigation, which means that this area in between can no longer be reached from this side. Now, I wasn't planning on shipping anything, so it shouldn't be that much of an issue. Let's tie that in here with a medium or large. Oh, can't do that. There. Connect. Now, let's work on upgrading this dirt road, because this is looking ridiculous. Really? Really? Okay. This is how the game wants to play it, apparently. Usually there's quite an easy solution for that, which is just redo the whole road. Small road to there, with a bus lane. For no particular reason. Can we upgrade it now? Yeah, for 411k. Get out of here. There you go, there's your road. Okay, so I want these two ships to go back. We're gonna salvage this line. Sell it, remove it. Instead, I'm going to have to throw around the Joburg ferry route. This one. The Joburg ferry bus route at the moment takes passengers from over here, from Joburg East, towards this station. That's not where I want them to go. I want them to go there. So West Street is going to be this one, Upper Spittal Flat. And from here people can take either a tram or a bus towards the rest of the town and towards this area here. I'm going to have to upgrade these vehicles as well, not just because they're 22 years old, but also because I want them to go faster. And we're going to throw in a bunch of new vehicles. This is going to be a pretty important connection, especially considering the amount of people who are probably waiting to go from one end to the next. So this is the Joburg ferry bus, which is actually no longer accurate. This is Joburg to Spittal Flat. That's the plan. Now, of course, it's going to take some people a bit of time to get used to the fact, there they are, that all of a sudden the ship that they were hoping to take is now cancelled. That's unfortunate for them, but deal with it. Joburg Spittal Flat at the moment doesn't have anyone. Can we upgrade these amount of terminals? No. Okay. See, there's quite a few of these different vehicles arriving at this point, which means that I might have to upgrade this thing, but there's no real room for that, so I'm going to have to go with a larger one of these, improved tram stations, or, and this is a mod, a high capacity road station. You can have these things, I believe, with a throughput. And by that I mean that you can have them on two sides. Top. Yeah, see, now I can have this thing as a sort of, well, throughway, if that's the word. If not, it is now. Unfortunately, they're rather expensive and hard to place here. So I'm gonna have to wait for this bus to just, well, sod off. And, of course, there's a tram. Come on. Fine. I don't think that this is ever going to wait. Confirm destruction. Now, if I replace this thing in time, the people will barely notice the fact that it's gone. Tram electric, yes. Platforms, 3. Wow. Oh, that takes up a lot of room. Can we do that here? Expensive? What do you mean expensive? Jesus. Well, I have the money for it, so why not? We're gonna have quite a few more terminals, which should allow these vehicles to just split up into different terminals here. And this means that the vehicles don't have to wait here at all. For some reason, if you just lock it down, see, they just keep jumping around. Lock. Lock. Really? Of all the terminals you could take. And of course you cannot manually click these. And we have some warnings. And that's that some of these are not electric. It's probably because of this road. This, I think, is a medium street with electric upgrade. Is that it? You happy now? You're still not happy now. Why? It is electric. Why are you not happy about that? Apparently not the whole route towards this thing is electric yet. Is it because that bus is under there? Seriously, what is wrong here? It just happily keeps taking my money, but it just won't allow me to upgrade this particular section. Fine. Be like that. See if I care. Upgrade that, manually connect it, and that should fix it. It's not the most efficient way out of here. There. It works. And not the most efficient way out of here, but whatever. At least now the trams can make it here, the buses can make it here, and the buses can also make it across the water, which is already something that people are waiting for. So let's feed in another Mercedes-Benz, and you're gonna head to Joburg Spittleflat. Here comes a bus now. This is the Spittleflat Duck Pond. Oh, this is the long run. Terminals. Why are you all trying to take Terminal 5? Really? That's your way of splitting lines out? Yeah, I'll take that. Unlock. Seriously, why are they all trying to take Terminal 5? Just walk, will ya? Seriously. Sometimes this game's logic just completely eludes me. Like, what are you doing? I built this thing so as not to have buses like this waiting for a slot. And naturally that's exactly what happens. So if you can have some sort of drag and drop interface, that would be a massive quality of life upgrade. And now it switches to Terminal 1. Whatever. At least it's split out now. I have Terminals 1, 2, 3 and 5. And for some reason people are avoiding 4 and 6 like the plague. Not sure what's going on there. Anyway, let's see if this town is now a little bit happier. Slightly. 16% at transport rating. Is there another town here or something? There isn't. So what are people hoping to do? Where are they hoping to go? Why are they not getting there? Let's take some interviews. Alright, Mr. Seth Evans, you work in Harpoon Bay. That's over there. Okay. James Robinson, you work in, or actually you want to shop in Harpoon Bay. And you want to work in Harpoon Bay. So everybody seems to be happy to go to Harpoon Bay. Well, there's plenty of buses going there. But what I could do is... Unfortunately, this is a bit crowded here. I was hoping to set up another one of those tram stations slash bus stations. But I'm really quite confident that that won't fit here. See, this is a slight upgrade, but I still need to cover the airport with it. These terminals just have one platform. It's not enough. See, this is going to get exponentially more expensive. It's going to be a transport hub. We can do it, though. We can do it. This one's going to get deleted. So is that one. We're going to just plunk one of these things down here. Come on, you can fit. You can fit. You just fit a minute ago. There you are. And hopefully that should not interrupt any of these lines. Just to check. Yeah, okay, they know that High Street is now a particular point of interest. What I want to do is set up another line. This one also coming out of Joburg. It's going to be a direct bus heading towards Harpoon Bay. So we're going to set up there. Come to think of it, is that even efficient? Well, it can be done. But that would be the last terminal that I'm using. I think the better alternative is to place this stop slightly outside of town. So we're going to have another one of those major hubs here. Make it 3 platforms. That means that we're going to have to electrify some of these roads. And I know electrify is not really the right term, but I hope you catch my meaning. These... Wow, they're expanding fast. How much of these roads are already electrified? Ah, there we go. Okay, so they should now be able to make it. Which means that I'm going to have to delete this one. And at the moment we're seeing the Joburg-Spittelflat line start there. I'm going to have that start here, just outside of Joburg. The counterclockwise tram starts at Joburg Crater East. That's going to be here. Joburg counterclockwise starts at Joburg, and that's going to be there. And line 1 is the new one. That's Joburg Crater, so it starts there. Yes, start there. And head to our hub. So this is Joburg to Harpoon. Do we not? Well, we have a depot somewhere around. We can add some vehicles in here. So this is going to be Joburg Harpoon. Let's get those guys moving. They're already splitting themselves out between the 2 directions. That's good. But I want to make their life a little bit easier. I want to take another direct route that goes from here directly to that, well, larger road that they already upgraded by the looks of it. Because I do not want to get my buses to get bogged down into traffic here. Holy crap, you're old. Yeah, you're 20 years old. Upgrade that. What sort of road do we need? Let's say there's going to be a lot of traffic coming down that road. So this is going to be a large throughput. 400k. And since I'm feeling benevolent, I might as well upgrade this part. Jesus! Pathfinding in this game needs work. And for some reason they decided that a zigzag route was the most effective way of getting from one side of a town to another. Vehicle on the way. Alright. Really? I draw a straight line. That's what happens. Do we need to upgrade this section first? Nope. Construction not possible. This game. Sure. Let's not do that. Okay. We can delete the rest here. And from here it's going to be... Oh, are you kidding me? Boom. You just saw that, right? I drew a straight line. The game went, nah. I don't do straight lines. Really? Okay. Anyway, it's done. So the buses, and there we go, this one figured it out. Joburg Harpoon is now taking the direct route to Harpoon. And these lines, this one, that is marked up for a bus. So we're always going to have buses going to and from Joburg over this bus line, allowing them to move a lot faster than main traffic. I'm going to see if I can get this rating up. 17% here. And I think that with the amount of passengers that I'm transporting through the Spittleflat and the Harpoon line, I'm going to be seeing some effect there. It has to start moving at this point. At the moment, of course, there's not too many people waiting there yet. I want to have a lot more buses on those routes. To Harpoon, Spittleflat. It's pretty much the key artery out of Joburg now. And I know I still have the aircraft, but that's mostly for the rich people who want to get there fast. Speaking of aircraft, let's check how one of those new liners is doing. Not too terrible. But overall I'm making a slight loss on some of these aircraft. The only one that's making a profit is the one going to Wishbone up in the north. Interesting. Okay. Now I may have to add quite a few more trams to this particular town here. Otherwise, we're not going to get the passengers that I need over there. So, the tram depot. Let's add another one to Joburg counterclockwise, another one to Joburg clockwise. And wait a few seconds. Send out another one. These things do cover most of the town, despite the fact that Joburg is quite ambitious in growth. I believe I'm still covering most, if not all, of the town. Yep, seems to be alright. Okay, add another one. Joburg, counterclockwise. Joburg, clockwise. Lots of people waiting here now. Look at that. Via Lower Joburg Crater. That would be there. That's because all of these people are waiting to get out of town to Harpoon and to... Look at that. Boom, 26. Just said 17% there a minute ago. This is what I'm looking for. And yes, that bridge was expensive, I'll give you that. 5 million out of me there. But, despite all of those expenses, I'm still in the green. How are my trains doing? Million. I like it. People waiting, 18 and 5. 15 there. The trains arrive every, let's say, 2 minutes-ish. And this is now getting quite busy. Lots of people waiting to go to High Street. Now, keep in mind that passengers now have the choice here. Do you want to take a direct bus from Joburg Crater to Harpoon? Or to Spittleflat? Or do you want to go to Spittleflat and transfer to another bus that goes all the way over to Duck Pond, for example? So I'm giving them all sorts of options. And I'm hoping that all of these lines, regardless, will still generate cash. And at the moment, that seems to be mostly true, with the exception of Shiba and Shiba counterclockwise. Replace that. New train. Or new engine if you want to be specific. Alright. Cash flows in. 4 million. Didn't spend that much. Just 1.5 million on new vehicles. Where's the bridge construction? Was that 1954? Might have been. Time flies when you're making money. I'd say we're doing alright. Aircraft, making about, well, 500,000 between them. No ships. Trams, Most of the trams are actually, well, it says tram, but of course some of these are just bus lines. Look at that! Joburg Spittleflat already making 100k. Joburg counterclockwise tram and counterclockwise are sort of making money. Not a whole lot there. I like it. Now Mosquito Bay was also growing. It has just a usage of 19% at the moment. I think that the next job is going to be connecting Mosquito Bay up to Mason. And these are... well, it's pretty far for a bus. Bring on the airports. Concrete airport or a concrete runway. Look at that! If I wanted to put that in the water, 32 million. I have 32 million, but I'm not going to do that. I might have to just build a small airport here and a small airport here. But Mason, it just doesn't have a lot going for it. Yes, it's still getting in this construction material. There's just 100 people there. It's completely isolated. So that's going to be the job for next week, connecting Mason to the world. Anyway, that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon for the next one.